Hey, so ideally this is going to be kind of just short read, maybe like 10 minutes or so, but we'll see how it goes, really. I channeled some messages, which I'll just show you guys. So Flowers by Miley Cyrus came up. Yeah, I started to really connect with this song, and I'm definitely clairaudient, so sometimes the messages and songs just like hit in a certain way, and I felt like it pertained to the reading. So yeah, clearly with this, a bit of a love message, and it definitely gives like somebody kind of rebuilding their confidence after like a breakup or a separation from a past connection, and that definitely ties into the next card too. So grief, betrayal, hidden enemies. Avoidant attachment, but could have started off anxious. Resistant, but working through past trauma. Okay, not all of this may necessarily pertain to you. Maybe you are somebody that's always been avoidant, or you've always been anxious, but either way, some type of slightly dysfunctional attachment style could be coming up, probably again because of past traumas and things like that. Now keep in mind, guys, as your reader, I personally have a lot of Scorpio placements, and so like these themes are things that like clearly I speak on. It's things I've gone through, and I feel like anyone with Scorpio placements knows like betrayal can be such a big thing. So maybe you've had a lot of situations in your life where, you know, somebody pulls the rug from under your feet and they're not who they kind of claim to be, and it comes out in a very traumatic way. So you might have some trust issues. You may have fear of commitment, fear of intimacy for that reason, sometimes self-isolating as a coping mechanism. We have Why Should I Care? I wanted to play that line in particular. It's from Losing Grip by Avril Lavigne. And it's kind of like, yeah, like the anthemic part of the song. She's like, why should I care? You weren't there when I was scared. I was so alone. And I almost feel like a lot of people in your life are upset that they're seeing a harsher side of you, or somebody that has boundaries, somebody that's willing to cut off people, somebody that is not just going to take something lying down anymore, the way that you might have in the past. And it's kind of like, you want to be mad that I'm a savage, but it's almost like you've made me this way. You know what I mean? It's kind of the energy. I'm just gonna kind of blow through the rest of these and not get too far into it, because I want to pull cards as well. We have Who's Afraid of Little Old Me, Taylor Swift. I Love You, I'm Sorry, Gracie Abrams. Had some song cards. Okay. Grace. Being okay with feeling a little lost and in transition. Being okay with not knowing or understanding why things feel not exactly right. Trusting you will move through this. Your future self may be giving downloads to help. Yeah, when you're definitely feeling lost, you know, sometimes it can be useful to try to connect with your future self rather than getting a bunch of tarot readings. Like, try to look within. That is a big thing. And listen, your emotions are there almost as a spiritual protection as well. If you are feeling hesitant or unsure or not 100% all the way about something, probably a reason for that. Let me show the candles in the frame. You know, it's probably a reason for that. So even if you're feeling tired and exhausted, that things haven't fully solidified for you, after a long process, you know, might just have more to go. And rather than like getting caught up in that, just doing what you need to do so that you can feel more solid. Because again, you can carry on with something and you know it's not right for you, in the name of stability, or in the name of like doing what's responsible. But is it responsible when you know in the back of your mind it's not going to work out, when you see the writing on the wall? You know what I mean? 1 second. Okay, cool. Now, last one. Okay, can you see this? New beginnings. Allow yourself time for rest and reflection. Clearing house and disposing of what's no longer needed in your space may help usher in the abundance you desire. Efficiency above all else, powerful evolution of self. Yeah, I definitely feel like you guys are headed towards something new for sure. And you may feel inclined like you need to just move fast with that, but you know, not necessarily. Or feel like you have to say yes to every single opportunity, but I don't think that's the case. I think you guys have a huge ability to get it on your own, be an entrepreneur, and do your own projects. And yeah, so I don't think you need to overexert yourself, even though that might be, you might feel pressured to do so. Sorry guys, I'm really finicky about my hair right now because I just trimmed it, and I might need some more curly products. So but that's just me venting. But yeah, I do feel like where you're headed, you are becoming a lot more independent than you've ever been. And if you are doing something where you're content creating or being your own boss in some way, I think you're going to be really impressed with how this whole journey takes place. And again, and it starts with one thing at a time. And what I want to say is, like, if you are at phase 1 of just having the idea, or like really laying the groundwork, and early on in those stages of creating something for yourself, it can be really easy to like lean into self-doubt. But again, I really do think that what you're building is worthwhile. Even this, for example, content creation can be so hit or miss. Nobody may even watch this video, or it could be a huge hit and go viral. Although so much energy and time has been put into it, but you have to be persistent and believing in yourself and trusting that you are doing this because of an inspiration, because you are able to help others. And I do think that a part of whatever you're doing is somehow helping the collective as well. And that should be something that motivates you as well to keep doing what you're doing. We're going to pull some magic spell cards here. I pulled out a lot of tarot decks, so I might have to make this video a little bit longer. All right, we have peace. And the orange representing the sacral chakra as well. So you might be really in a hard time also, because this tells me that you're like working on the sacral chakra, and perhaps there could be some guilt around that, like because of hardships, because of, again, maybe a lack of stability or security in your life. You might have a hard time leaning into the sacral energy of like sensuality, pleasure, things like that. You might be trying to heal that. And there could be guilt that comes along with that. Because again, if you don't even feel like you have a right to your own safety and comfortability, then why would you also feel like enjoying yourself and the sensual aspects of life could be a hard thing to lean into? But I think ultimately, like, peace is a big thing that you're wanting. Live shuffled. Oh, I was hoping to get 2, but we'll take 3. Friendship, lovely. And then what else? Health, yeah. Like getting back to basics. And I was getting this message that, again, likely that you are someone that may have a hard time leaning on individuals. But if you are feeling so inclined, perhaps this is something that like you are suddenly getting a download to connect with somebody that you haven't heard from in a while, or things fell off. You know, in this day and age, community can be very, very lacking. And that's a whole other rant and spiel. But if you're feeling so inclined, or you're feeling that urge, then perhaps reach out. You know, I think those lapses in communication it's kind of inevitable in the world that we live in, and people definitely get tied up. So yeah, if this is your confirmation, you may want to reach out to somebody that maybe you haven't talked to in a while. And then health, of course, like could be working on your sleep schedule, could be working on your diet, just trying to take care of yourself in the best way that you possibly can. Don't have too much time left, so I might have to extend this. Ooh. Sorry, I heard a noise. What else? Witch, justice is coming. We love it. I think I was saying in a past reading as well, you might be leaning into spell work, so the witch coming out is kind of like apt. Also leaning into protection, mirror work potentially, and yeah, the justice is coming. We're definitely gonna have to extend this, so yeah, let's do that. Justice is coming. I love that. I might want to pull another one of these. Okay. My astro dice kind of rolled over there. Maybe we need to use that too. All right, we have lavender. Surround yourself with love. Yeah, what was I just saying about community, right? So maybe planning some time with friends could be important for you. Definitely see that. And even if you're not at necessarily a time to do that, or if community is lacking, remember we have this card here, right? Like, and I feel like the message with this is kind of like, if you don't have that, or you don't have somebody you can go out to lunch with, take yourself out on the date. Finding ways to come back to yourself, no matter what your situation is going to be really important. Acts of self-love, you know what I mean, are going to be really huge and important. What else, guys? I feel like we're going to do all the oracle cards first. So I have this one, and then we'll pull from Modern Witch, do some tarot at the end. All right, so what else? Ooh, wow, a lot of cards came out. We have Wise One, grow within your current situation. We have Water Guardian, connect with your emotions. Okay, these cards really made a mess here. Magic Guardian, unlock the magic within. Wow, okay. And what else? And then Earth Guardian, stay rooted and grounded. Yeah, so right away, right, the earth and water elements. I think that makes a lot of sense. Was I already explaining that? So no, but with these cards earlier, I pulled organization. So that is another thing that also came through with this here, like clearing house, right? So organization, I didn't keep that card, so I wanted to do the live pull, but it still stands. Like, purpose and efficiency is key, not overextending yourself to do 1,000,001 things. You don't necessarily need like different employers to help you, or 3 jobs necessarily. Sometimes it's just pouring into your own self projects that will produce the abundance. You know what I mean? So again, trusting yourself. So part of that is grounding, rest, reflection, not overextending yourself, and just making sure everything is pretty orderly. Cleaning, getting rid of things you don't want is going to literally create space in your reality for new things to come in. And again, like I was saying, the emotions, you might feel yourself feeling really drained. Could be being affected. We have daylight savings in the northern hemisphere currently, so that could be very relevant, right? Like, not just having daylight in your reality, that could be taking a toll on you. You could be dealing with like sadness and grief that again, healing isn't linear, so it could be things that could have happened long time ago that is like now affecting you, and you're now allowing yourself to cry over it, whatever the case may be. Magic, I feel like this card has been coming up a lot, right? Like, as that reminder, because we can get really wrapped up in difficulties, obstacles, people getting in your way, and it's just sometimes hearing, not just like you telling yourself that you can manifest whatever you want, but like hearing it from another person as that reminder that manifestation, sometimes it's just like matching the frequency, and it is energetic, and that vision that you see for yourself, that goal, it's already there for you. It's just like aligning with the energy. So that reminder. And then Wise One, grow within your current situation. There might be a level of like you don't fully understand why things have been the way they have been. I do think you're really going through a difficult time, genuinely. And it may not make sense, and you may be in the eye of the storm, but I think over time it will make sense, and like just reminding yourself that you are going to get through it. This is a very chaotic spread if you guys could see it, but I'm not going to show you. Hair break, sorry. Trying to work with my natural texture. Very chaotic. All right, we'll pull some tarot to see what else comes through. Still want my candle in the frame. Okay. What else? Okay, we have King of Wands. I'm gonna pull like maybe 4 cards. Let's see. Have King of Wands. Ooh. 6 of Cups. Okay. Need 2 more. Okay, I got 3 all at once. So, oh, wow. Got more than that. All right. 10 of Cups. Queen of Wands in reverse. And then Wheel of Fortune in reverse. Okay. And then what is this? 5 of Wands. All right, it's going to be easier for me to just like bring some of these down. Okay. Interesting. So right away, King of Wands coming out first. Despite all the chaos going on around you, I do feel like there is a confidence emerging in you, and somebody that is like, if you are working on your own independent projects and things like that, that is because maybe you've been doing some solar plexus work, some identity work, and you are really starting to believe in your skills and abilities, and it's showing. And just know that like that could be a reason why the spiritual attack is going as strong. So don't let that create self-doubt for you. Although it's very draining, know that, like, almost take it as a compliment. Kind of like that song, Actually Romantic, which kind of just gets at the fact that, yeah, it could be annoying. You could be drained. You could not like being attacked or having criticism or having people have a lot to say about you in really malicious, gross ways. But it also just confirms that you're doing what you need to do, right? So just try to look at it from that perspective. In the 6 of Cups coming out with the 10 of Cups is interesting as well. We are in retrograde energy, so past energies could be relevant. Whether this is just like connections that maybe aren't as deep, you could just be seeing old coworkers or people that you met in passing or things like that. And sometimes I feel like those interactions can be important because it almost takes you back to the person you were at different times, right? I'll give an example. Like, I saw somebody and I didn't really have the best relationship with them when I worked with them. I kind of thought of them a little bit as an enemy, or maybe a frenemy, something like that. But now when I see them, you know, nothing but love. We just hit it off, and like, even though the past me was so stressed out by this person, you know, but now like I look at that like child's play, you know what I mean? So it serves as a reminder and almost like is a form of encouragement of like, okay, like I can get through this, right? So it could be something as simple as that. And then the 10 of Cups. So again, really positive. I want to look at the rest of the spread, and this is why I like to take a minute. We're going to come back to the 10 of Cups, but I want to get into this. The Wheel of Fortune in reverse, and then we have 5 of Wands. Again, a lot of combative energy. So it is hard for you to keep up with things. But like I said, like, let that motivate you. Like, you're doing something right if you're having all this commotion. That reminds me of another song lyric, but we won't go there. Wheel of Fortune, yeah, you could feel like you've just been stuck in this, like, you're the person on the bottom of the wheel, right? Like, just waiting for your come up. But know that everything is cyclical, and if you've been down for a while, then there's nowhere to go but up, right? Justin Bieber, I'm all about the songs today. But it's the truth. Yeah, I do think your 10 of Cups is coming, and like, again, all of this work on yourself and rebuilding, and maybe even just like reframing your own self-image after like maybe having your heart broken. I think it's gonna actually be drawing a lot of love in. There was a lot of love messages, so that is maybe maybe 3 or 4 more tarot cards to wrap it up. Okay, 8 of Wands. Oh, 8 of Pentacles, sorry. But 8 of Wands, I think 8 of Wands makes sense too, because with the King of Wands, like, again, like, I feel like you guys have so much inspired ideas and things. Again, despite it being, if you're like me, Northern Hemisphere, being winter, I feel like there's just so much that you want to act upon, and you actually are feeling really alive, like I was saying. Oh, this is in reverse. Okay, you are a badass being full of life, love, and possibilities. Through this deck, may you find a path to your best self. So with this energy being distorted, it's like on one hand, you could feel yourself working on these confidence issues, but at the same time, also maybe dealing with mental health issues, depression, also getting spiritual attack left and right. So having a hard time doing the work, but doing it anyway. Okay, 6 of Pentacles. Okay, so maybe we'll just pull another 3. Okay, Temperance. Okay, that makes sense. Already getting something here. The Empress. Okay, lovely. What else? And then, is this in reverse? Yeah. The Hanged One in reverse. Okay. Back of the deck, Death card. Right, so a lot of this has been about like transformation, clearly. Especially if this is about breakups, if this is about realizations of past connections. I think there's a lot of personal development going on for you, a lot of shedding. And that is a difficult energy to move through, but it's also like a very powerful energy, and I think it will serve you no matter how hard it is. Again, could be a lot of things falling away, but know that if this is an opportunity, if this is a connection, sorry, I'm burping, whatever the case may be, if it was meant to be, it would last, right? And so if you've, like we've mentioned already, if you have felt that something was supposed to be the answer, was supposed to be the solid ground after hard, long period of looking for a soft place to land, know that if it wasn't supposed to stay, it's not going to. But that doesn't mean that something else won't solidify. So just know that, again, we had the Wheel of Fortune in reverse. So I think that change is on the horizon, and it might be like something that's been long overdue, but it is coming. Sorry, when I'm channeling like this, it's just like trying to get a lot out at once. So 8 of Pentacles and Temperance. I think this makes a lot of sense because, like we've said, I do think you're working really hard and splitting yourself amongst many different things. You could have a day job, you could have things that you want to build on, again, independently, your own personal projects, like we've said. And so you're finding a way to move through all of that, even with attack, even with a lot of difficulties. And I'm getting from all fronts, and that is not easy. I'm here to validate that for you. With the Temperance card coming out, I think we're definitely learning to pick and choose your battles, and learning when to speak up and when it is best to just keep it cute, get what you can from certain situations, and beyond that, focus on what you truly want and go towards that. And we have this card. Again, kind of like we touched on, there is confidence issues, and there is sadness, and there is grief, and really heavy energy that you're moving through. But almost the way that this is like right under it, I feel like beyond all of that, you are coming into your own, like never before is what I want to say. Like, I really feel like this is a brand new you in this chapter. So if you have been having confidence issues if you might feel very lonely at this time. I do think with the new chapter, with new things coming in, new spaces and places, I do think all of that will help you and be more of an energetic match versus the kind of low vibrational energies that you've had to be around. And I think that is also, once you kind of get there, that is going to help you step into your Empress and energy and really believe in the person that you are kind of evolving into a lot more, because it's there. As we can see, there is this bad bitch energy that is running through the cards, but it's like you're on your way. You're in that process of evolution. Okay, Six of Pentacles, yes. And then the Hanged One. So, yeah, the Hanged One is in reverse. So I do feel like you have felt that you've been in a holding period, or like you've been wanting things to just move forward. You've been wanting to see the results, wanting to see the goals, wanting something to stick and to last for a long time. And it feels like, why am I almost in this cage, or why am I feeling stuck for so long, and really growing impatient. But these periods are there for a reason. And again, you may not understand it now, but it will make sense in the future. And learning when to give and when to not, learning when to fight and learning when to not. I think you're realizing it's almost best not to get caught up in the chaos, because I think you're also starting to realize, like, I may not even be in these places for much longer. So not letting it get to you as much, even though that is difficult. I might do like 2 more cards. No, 2 more cards to wrap this up. Okay, we have the Emperor in reverse. Okay, what else? 2 of Wands in reverse. Final word. We'll do 1 more. The Tower. Okay, might need another one after that. Okay, we'll wrap it up. 1 more. Wow, nothing but reversals. 7 of Pentacles in reverse. Okay, this is gonna be I'm gonna do my best here. Can we get 1 more? God, might be a long reading. The Hermit. Yeah, we might need to do a little more, because I'm trying to wrap it up, but just more and more is coming out. Okay, 2 more. Knight of Wands. All right. 4 of Swords. Okay. Maybe 1 more. 1 more. And Queen of Cups. Wow, yeah, we might have to extend this. All right, bear with me, guys. Okay, guys. So I did just pull those cards. I may have taken out like 2 or 3, because I really just want to get the message out without extending it too long. So, final word. 2 of Wands in reverse. I have 4 of Swords in reverse. The Tower in reverse. 7 of Pentacles in reverse. Queen of Cups in reverse. And then I ended up pulling the Queen of Swords upright. Okay? So, to begin, starting with the first 3. I do feel like you're having a lot of self-doubt. Like, I really hope that my efforts work out, and just in a state of worry. Circular thinking has been really keeping you in a stronghold, and you're feeling like a lot of people are lording over a lot of fear tactics on you, and that is making it difficult for you to keep going and do what you need to do. And you're really just hoping that your efforts pay off in life. I think deep down with the Queen of Cups, like, there is this sweet, soft, kind energy, and I think you want to get back to that, although it's been difficult. But don't be afraid of the fighter within you, the Queen of Swords. All right, so continuing on, because I didn't really get to finish, but It's almost like, don't be afraid of the Queen of Swords within you. Especially being that this is the only one that came out upright. She's there for a reason, and she's necessary. You know, I almost want to give the analogy of like, imagine you are a parent, or even like somebody that's like a child care worker, right? And you have an entitled child, and they are just acting up, causing fights, stealing snacks from other kids, who knows what. Just bear with me, right? If you were to just go along and not say anything because you don't want to create a bigger issue, or you don't want to look like the bad guy, or you don't want to put your foot down or set a boundary, what are they going to do? Continue to walk around and terrorize literally everybody, and continue to be like a terror to society, right? So somebody has to put their foot down. And I do think you are that walking karma. So, and especially like, even though like, of course this reading is unisex, however, especially for women, we are taught in society that our emotions, our anger, our rage is not to be taken seriously, and that at all times to just be mild-mannered, be docile, and it's just not realistic. Anger can be a really valuable and necessary thing as well. And I do think the Queen of Swords can represent that. Like, she is the boundary queen. So don't be afraid of putting people in their place. And you don't have to like totally go off the deep end to do that. That makes me want to pull maybe something else. Maybe like one more. We'll see. King of Swords in reverse. Interesting, because this is the counterpart. So yeah, you could be dealing with an individual. And mind you, I did pull the Emperor before in reverse, but I took it out because I was just trying to condense. So I feel like it's almost a similar energy. So you could be dealing with like some type of stubborn masculine energies in your life that are kind of long overdue to be told about themselves. Like sitting there thinking that it's their kingdom, and guess what? No, you need a reality check. You are the reality check. Let's be real. What else? Again, heartbreak, right? That was definitely coming through. I mean, the first card was Flowers song, and that really like motivated me to do this reading. So yeah, you're moving through a lot. And I'm definitely a Swiftie, guys. I think a lot of her songs have been coming up. We had Who's Afraid of Little Old Me, and I'm taken to like Red era. Was it 22? We're happy, free, confused, and lonely in the best way. Like, and she explains that in something that she wrote about that era when she was doing Red Taylor's version, the re-records. But a lot of heartbreak can like put you in this manic energy where you're just kind of all over the place. You like feeling good, dark feminine, like rebuilding your confidence after having it taken away from you, but then also feeling the lows. So that can be really draining and really hard. So I think definitely like be easy on yourself with that being said. What else? And then 8 of Cups as well. Throughout all of this, I think it is definitely becoming apparent to you certain things that you need to move away from, and that's okay. What else? Maybe one more. 10 of Wands. Yeah, you're realizing certain things simply cannot go on the way that they have been going, and it's been long overdue to cut the cord. I think it's just a matter of like, when is it going to happen? Emperor came back. Okay. Anything else? Really try my best to wrap this up. All right, please, let's wrap this up. 7 of Cups. Yeah, like, might feel like you have some tyrants around you that have a lot to say, that are making it very difficult for you to focus on what you need to do. You know, like the devil in your life, I want to say, like, and it's causing a lot of distraction, and you're wondering what your best options are to move through that. Okay, Knight of Cups in reverse. What else? What else? What else? What else? Oh, sorry. Okay, Knight of Wands. And then the King of Cups. All right, give me a sec. Okay, every time I try to wrap up the reading, I feel like there's just like more in-depth things that want to come out. So I'm not sure where I left off, but I had like the Emperor in reverse before. 7 of Cups. I'm just going to show you the cards too, because like, my God, a lot of like masculine energy coming through, right? So we had the Emperor, Knight of Cups in reverse, and the Knight of Wands. We have the King of Cups. Like, so like not only do you have your own stuff that you're dealing with in your own personal life, you got ops left and right, and I feel like you have a lot of like romantic interests or people coming up as well, right? Some of those people didn't shoot their shot, and maybe weren't emotionally unavailable, didn't fully put all their cards out on the table. I was also hearing earlier the one that got away by Muna, so that could be relevant. You may feel as though you came into it with these individuals, and I'm going to show you the other cards. Like, you came into it with these individuals with your heart on your sleeve, and like willing to entertain things, and be relatively open, and maybe you didn't feel like you got the same in return. And with this, it's like, I'm just a girl, to be honest, or maybe you're just a boy, I don't know, but like, again, like innocent, lighthearted, you're just trying to move through it all, and it's just like so much going on around you, which again makes it difficult. Like the internal demons that you are working through, and the external, and not just one. That's the thing, it's like from all sides is what I feel. And with all that being said, past energy circling you, just all the energy circling around you, it could be really overwhelming, because, and especially if you are somebody that is interested in spirituality, and I don't want to say woke, but for lack of a better word, woke, you feel it, and it takes a toll on your auric field 1,000%. Everybody always wants a piece, you know what I mean? So that could just be kind of weighing you down, and you could be dissatisfied as well, because it's like all of this, right? Sure, maybe there's a lot of love there, but it's almost like you didn't even get to act on it. You didn't even get to get a hug. The fuck? Like, go on a date, nothing. Like, nothing came of it. So like, that is adding to the dissatisfaction, right? It's like, okay, all of this stuff that I just have to pine over and like be sad about for the rest of my life, and I can't really quite cut the cord from these individuals, because it's just like a difficult thing when you're dealing with karmic relationships. And so finally, wrapping it up, I think it was this way. So we had the 2 of Cups, the 10 of Pentacles, and Justice. I feel like justice is so important here, and that was coming up earlier with the Witch card. So I'm glad that it's circling back. So of course, like my collective, we are deserving of love, peace, happiness, all the beautiful things that life has to give. And you could be affirming to yourself, you know what I mean? Like, I only resonate with positive things, despite what's going on around you. And I feel like your time is coming. And with the 2 of Cups, I do almost feel like this could be an individual coming into your life, probably romantic, but it could be friendships as well. I think a lot of newness is entering your life. And I feel as though it could be like a past connection, somebody that you had a deep relationship with in a past life, because I feel like it's almost what you need at this time. Somebody that kind of just understands you, like not just a little fling or somebody you're attracted to, but somebody that really gets you on a more deeper level. And I think this person is really going to help you, because there was also a message coming through about balance. So another example, say you are not very tech savvy. If you're me, you're not, right? And you like lose patience. Maybe you find that individual, friend or romantic, that like will take the time to work on those things. Or if you don't know how to cook, like maybe the person you find is like a really great cook. Something like that. Like, you're just being willing to lean on individuals, whether platonic, romantic, whatever the case may be. And I think it's going to be really beneficial for you and a big change, because you're not used to leaning on individuals. But I do think there's going to be really impactful relationships coming in. You're going to see them trickling in slowly, but they're really going to be there at a time where you definitely need it. So I'm glad I could end on a positive note for you guys. Definitely let me know how it resonates in the comments. Bye.